We begin with the developing weather situation tonight. Good evening, I'm Darryl Hood. A soggy start to the work week across the Midlands, but lucky for us, that severe threat has passed. Meteorologist Garrett Beatonbaugh has been monitoring the situation all day long for us. And Garrett, the great news, we are in the clear tonight.
We are.
Well, Palmetto Lifeline partnering with local police to provide them with training on how to humanely capture pets. Breaking news up front tonight, fire crews fighting a fire at an apartment complex in West Columbia, and one person is confirmed dead tonight. This is the scene. This all started when a Rhodes College professor was walking to work this morning along this stretch of Mignon. That's when two people drove up alongside of her, a man and a woman, pretending to need directions. Well, the State Budget and Control Board extends a lifeline to cash-strapped SC State University. It approved a $6 million loan to keep that school afloat. Although getting their hands on some cash is the #1 reason people sell themselves legally.
Good evening, I'm Bree Boyce.
And I'm Darryl Hood. The Columbia Police Department today talking about ways to fight and deter violent crime. While 5 points was the hot topic of discussion, city leaders focusing on gangs and the tools that can help stop the violence. Here's just another example of how strong these winds were when it toppled this tree. Check out what else it brought up with it, this huge mound of dirt. Students at the center of a local education controversy get involved. Good evening, I'm Darryl Hood.
And I'm Bree Boyce.
Well, investigators say the Greenwood man who killed 5 people before shooting himself also lied to his relatives about having a court hearing that day. 27-year-old Brian Sweat skipped a court hearing Tuesday. Sheriff's deputies say that's the same day he shot the mother of his daughter, her parents, and 2 other kids. Sweat was facing a possible life sentence on a burglary charge. A former Luga firefighter behind bars tonight charged with unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. 24-year-old Daniel Timothy Brown turned himself into authorities at the Kershaw County Detention Center. Brown was under investigation for having sex with a person under the age of 16. The victim claims it happened on 4 occasions. Well, to the weather now. Lots of big events were going on in the Midlands today, but the rain did not help.
Let's check in with Henry Rothenberg.
Well, Palmetto Lifeline partnering with local police to provide them with training on how to humanely capture pets. The training stems from a recent incident in the Irmo community when a police officer shot and killed a dog after describing that dog's behavior as threatening.
Waiting and what they're saying.
Well, the training was offered to any police officer in the Midlands area. The state's Office of Regulatory Staff says SC&G, it's got to stop using a billing program that's confusing customers. The agency recommends the utilities stop using the electronic normalization adjustment with customers' bills. The program was started 3 years ago as a way to help keep customers' rates from spiking during peak months. But adjusters say the program is too complex for the average customer to check for accuracy.
Still to come tonight, some great advice for young adults starting out on how to beat the student loan and instant debt monster.
And was it terrorism or anger that motivated a young man to shoot up a terminal at LAX today? We've got the latest on the investigation as Watch Fox News at 10 continues. Well, starting out as a young adult can be very tough financially, especially when millions of young Americans face huge amounts of student loan debt.
Yes, and as we told you last night at watch.com.
In Health Watch, lots of myths going around about the disease known as Tourette syndrome. Blinking and grunting are just some of the uncontrollable twitches and sounds kids make with Tourette's. As Alexis King shows us, a new drug could help those suffering from this disease. That is great. That was Alexis King reporting. Well, stay with us. We've got much more ahead for you tonight. A federal agent is dead following a shooting at LAX. The suspect behind bars. Now officials are focusing on why he did it.
And Halloween or not.
Not a bad way to head into the first weekend in November. Some sunshine comes Sunday, and Tuesday the flag is there because it's Election Day.
Yes, it is.
And it's looking pretty good for Election Day across the Midlands as well.
Henry just warned, I was up early this morning. 7 o'clock, it was still dark outside.
I know.
I was like, oh.
Kind of annoying right there. And of course, you're adjusting to the new hours, right?
Well, across country, a federal agent is dead, several other people injured, and a suspected gunman behind bars after a shootout at LAX today. Fox's Will Carr has the latest from Los Angeles.
Being lost. Just ahead on Fox.
Is it a fraternity prank or a public demonstration of bravery? Looks like a lot of fun to me. A look at a world record holder's return to Earth when Watch Fox News at 10 returns.
Records for wingsuit jumping.
Oh my God, that looks pretty cool. I want to do that.
I know. I would like to do that.
Looking at him go by the steeple right there, though. It's like, I mean, what happens if you get like
How
one
close?
little gust?
It's like, what's Angelina Jolie's movie?
Tomb Raider.
Yes,
Tomb
yes,
Raider.
when they do that, I want to do that one time. I want to walk away from it, but I want to do that.
Walk away from it.
That's impressive, though.
Yeah. So anyway, one more reminder, Henry, we got to put those clocks back an hour.
And it's a good time. Also, check the batteries and the smoke detectors and everything like that. If you can't reach them, if you don't have one in your home, Chief Jenkins, I can speak for him on this behalf. They are happy to come out there and help you do that as well.
And any fire department in your area is
and
happy
even
to help
police
you with
officers are happy to help you with that. Any emergency personnel is happy to help you because they'd rather help you do that than have to come for another reason.
And I know lots of Gamecock fans, sorry about that, lots of Gamecock fans looking forward to the game tomorrow. Weather should be fine.
It's looking. She was asking me about that too.
I was asking about the weather.
It's going to be good. Game should be okay, just a little breezy.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty.
You heard it
Well,
here first.
that's going to do it for us. Hope you got a fantabulous night ahead of you. Of course, Brian and Derek are up next with this week's First and 10.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Staff Sergeant William Carlson with the South Carolina Air National Guard, assigned to the 169th AMXS. I joined the military primarily because I knew it was a calling. My family served, both my grandfathers, my dad served, my brother served. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid.
Sergeant William Carson, a Midlands resident who just happens to be an American hero. He's one of the guys on the ground in wartime who make sure the F-16s of the 169th Fighter Wing based at McEntire are loaded with the necessary weaponry when they fly into battle.
My whole mission here is to come out on drill weekend, 2 weeks a year, whenever it is that they need me, and load different munitions on the aircraft. Depending on our role or what we're doing, it's going to determine what type of munition we're going to use. If we don't take it serious, somebody dies. So we always take it serious.
Sergeant Carlson has been in the National Guard 10 years. In that time, he's deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan, ground zero in the war on terror.
I do believe, like I said before, that we are making a difference over there. And if the United States, the president, anybody was to ask me to go back over there, I'd be more than happy and more than willing to go back and do what I need to do in order to protect this country.
When he's not on base, Sergeant Carlson is still protecting and serving in his day job. He's a deputy with the Richland County Sheriff's Department. Duty called and Sergeant Carlson answered. He says he couldn't imagine doing anything else.
I do it because I love my country. I also get a sense of pride on coming out here and knowing that I'm going to protect my family, your family, and it's something that makes me feel good.
And ABC 24 Eyewitness News reporter Darryl Hood tells us why. Darryl.
Well, Dee, although there are many heartbreaking scenes like this all around Shelby County, local leaders tell me that we have yet to reach the financial amount of damage required before a disaster is declared. But talking to people dealing with the aftermath of these storms, they say they don't need a dollar amount in order to state the obvious. Just about everyone in Shelby County has a story to tell about how scary, how devastating last week's severe storms were.
Just looking out the window, boy, they were pretty strong, all right.
Deborah Moore and her family point to the proof in their backyard. This 60-foot-tall tree grounded, but not before doing some damage to their house and the neighbors.
When it happens to you personally, it is a disaster. Maybe to people that have been affected a lot worse, it doesn't seem so terrible. We had minor things, but there are a lot of people that their houses were just destroyed.
There were at least 5 houses in our neighborhood with trees on them, and most of them worse than this.
Here is just another example of how strong these winds were when it toppled this tree. Check out what else it brought up with it. This huge mound of dirt, 2 tons at least. The hole where the tree once stood, 10 feet deep. With such damaging winds, some wonder why Shelby County hasn't been declared a disaster area.
That is not something we are permitted to do simply because we get a lot of calls. There is a monetary threshold that we have to cross, and we can't cross that just by way of a seat of the pants judgment.
Even though there's no disaster declaration, county officials know there is still much more work to be done to recover fully from the events of the last few days. Meantime, Deborah Moore and her family are just happy they're okay.
It was upsetting because even though it just caught the corner of our house and our neighbors, the garage, you never know. You know, it could have been right through the middle where we were, and that's scary.
Scary indeed. Mayor Warden says the financial disaster threshold for Shelby County is $2.9 million. He says that the numbers county-wide from cities still coming in right now. He says he wants some determinate numbers before he seeks help from Nashville.